Hello, the title of the paper is Employee Happiness and Green Practices, a case study of internal corporate social responsibility. Of the four authors who wrote this paper, Professor Delcea is the coordinator of our doctoral programs, and my colleagues and I are PhD students at the Faculty of Cybernetic Statistics and Economic Informatics of the Bucharest University of Economic Studies. The introduction presents the reason behind the emergence of the concept of corporate social responsibility, or CSR, which is a consequence of the exploitation of human and natural resources to ensure a profit. In the specialized literature are presented articles that study the impact of CSR implementation in companies as well as green practices. Thus, considering the study conducted by Baragat Jira and al. On the implementation of green practices in a five-star hotel from Uganda. The results showed that the cost savings increased profit, customers' satisfaction and loyalty are among the advantages revealed. Katak and al. Examine how employees' perception of CSR impact to their green behavior in the hospitality sector, and the results uncover the positive impact of CSR on the employees' green behavior. In a similar manner, the study conducted by Katie and al. Discussing the effect of environmental CSR on green perceived value and attitude. The paper focused on the guests of a five-star hotel in Egypt and travel agencies, so hospitality and tourist industries, and prove the CSR positive impact. The research performed by Zhang and Liu explores the advantages generated by the implementation of CSR initiatives in Chinese companies and investigates their effect on financial performances as well as brand value. The results indicate a strong relationship between those variables and prove the major impact of CSR in enhancing the company overall performance. The issue of higher pollution level is addressed in the paper by Q and Sun. The authors examined the severe impact of the rise in pollution impact that the rise in pollution has on the economy, together with the substantial influence of CSR has in this challenge, particularly for China. Multiple recommendations are additionally offered for the authorities, highlighting the significance of healthy environment, a stable and sustainable economy, as well as the urgent adaptation of ecological practices and CSR initiatives. Regarding the study, the role of the current research is to identify those components of internal CSR that impact employee happiness as well as green practices. In this sense, by applying a questionnaire addressed to a number of 123 respondents whose answers were imported into Smart PLS, it was wanted to evaluate the hypothesis according to which the variables work-life balance and equal opportunities, adaptability to change, and occupational health and safety have a role in defining employee happiness as well as green practices within companies. The questions that the current research will answer are related to the influence of some CSR components. In this case, we have work-life balance and equal opportunities, adaptability to change, and occupational health. And we want to see their impact on green practices and employee happiness. For this research, questionnaire with 36 questions was developed and distributed online through the Google Forms platform. The 123 answers provided were important and processed in Excel to have the format desirable by the software used. Out of the 36 questions asked, 10 of them corresponding to obtaining information about respondents. All other questions are in the form of Likert scale, with answers ranging from 1 to 5, with one stating total disagreement and 5 agreeing totally. Although the questions were generated randomly without giving the respondents the opportunity to identify the latent variables, 3 questions were asked to discover information about work-life balance and equal opportunities. 4 were destined to identify the adaptability to change. Another 4 about occupational health and safety, 8 for green practices, and 7 to detect their degree of happiness. Figure 1 shows the components that make up the model created based on the previously mentioned research questions. To evaluate the model's bonity, constructs are evaluated, those being reflective and formative. Depending on how the questions are formulated. And we have different evaluation methods depending on the type of the variables. We see here for reflective and for formative, we see that there are other indicators that we need to see. The results begin with the presentation of initial model in which the questions forming the constructs are presented. The first step in validating the model consists in assessing collinearity for the formative indicators, checking if the v-value exceeded the threshold of 5, testing eliminating questions GR1 and GR4, and forming the model in figure 4. The model in figure 5 presents the final version in which all the questions for which the p-values associated with the weights exceeded the 0.05 thresholds were eliminated following the implementation of the bootstrapping algorithm. In table 1, we see that the p-values associated with the remaining informative variables are below the 0.05 threshold, with the VIF present, while the VIF presents values lower than 5, most having values lower than 3, which is according to the methodology. In the case of variables, it is desired that the loading values exceeds the threshold of 0.7, a fact that is validated for all 7 questions. As for AV and CR, it is desirable that the values exceed 0.7. Note that the AV value is 0.82, while the CR value is 0.96. The next step consisting in evaluating the formative hypothesis, and we see that only occupational health and safety influence green practices, while the only construct that does not influence based on the answers received, employee happiness is adaptability to change. So, except for the fact that half of the model's hypotheses were not validated, the components that internally encapsulate CXR explain 0.66 explain 66.4% of green practices variance and 63.2% of the employee happiness variance. Based on the hypothesis tests conducted in this study, it can be concluded that this research highlighted that occupational health and safety and work-life balance and equal opportunities plays a substantial role in predicting employee happiness. And also, occupational health and safety significantly impacts green practices. Given the positive impact of occupational health and safety on employee happiness, companies could consider increasing their employee happiness by adopting international labor standards and codes of practice. Preventing occupational accidents and work-related disease by improving working conditions will positively impact employee well-being. In a report conducted by Aviva, one of the largest insurance providers in UK, 1,001 full of part-time employees age 16 plus, and 203 18 plus employers were interviewed. 67 of employers believe their staff are happier due to the opportunity to work from home, and 62% think that remote work aids in attracting new employees. Additionally, 41% of the respondents said that working from home helps them better manage their work-life balance, while 33% feel that it increases productivity. Integrating green practices into business operations showcases companies' dedication to environment stewardship and sustainability. This approach aligns with the core principles of CSR, which emphasize this responsibility to minimize negative environmental impacts. The results of the current study are consistent with the previous research, and this study makes several contributions to the literature. A longitudinal study conducted by Larry found that occupational safety and health interventions can contribute to a better workplace atmosphere and significantly increase employee satisfaction and productivity. The study conducted by Patil and Kumawat in the banking sector concluded that the employees who maintain a balance between their work and personal lives experience significant improvements in their physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Also, Bautista Bernal et al. Conducted a bibliometric analysis of 289 articles published between 1995 and 2018. The study revealed a significant increase in the number of publications from 2013 to 2018, highlighting growing interest in exploring the relationship between occupational safety and health and CSR. Practical implementation may consider management policies that actively support employees in managing both their professional and personal lives, implementing flexible work arrangements based on employee feedback can contribute to increased productivity and satisfaction. Organizations may prioritize improving workplace safety to reduce employees' perception on occupational health risk. Conducting regular assessments of the work environment can help identify potential health risk and area for improvement. For future research, we would like to identify the impact on sustainable management practices to mitigate burnout and increase workplace productivity. And since the current generation are prone to change jobs frequently, we would also like to observe the implication of CSR on job satisfaction and loyalty of employees regarding the businesses in which they operate. Thank you.